Hey, welcome to Tech Tips everybody. Today we have a Yolobox episode. It is the Yolobox Ultra and it is the Yolodeck that you connect to the Ultra. This is a little keyboard for hotkeys so you can control your Yolobox with the buttons itself. It's not a separate mixer, but just buttons to the Ultra to make it more streamlined and more broadcast friendly. So switching to Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Yeah, so we're doing this live to tape right now. We're not doing it live on air because we weren't sure exactly what B-rolls we might need to add afterwards for you, but as much as possible live to tape. And one of the things that really stands out to me is it brings this into the professional arena a lot more. Not that the Yolobox Ultra or Pro are less professional, but these give it the real broadcast control that you need. Like when you're in a live event, your focus has to be on telling the story. I've been mixing and doing directing for the better part of 20 years, everything from sports, concerts, you name it, even plays at some points. And you don't want to have your focus taken away from which camera you're taking just to be able to do graphics. We have graphic operators, but there's been times when you're the one-man show or the mixer board is set up in such a way that you have the control of both the camera and the graphics. So whenever we do big events, like a sporting event, you want to be able to have the score clock, the bug, the lower thirds already memorized. Long before any broadcast event, you're sitting there and you're like memorizing with your hand, your right hand, which button you're going to take for your ME, your multimedia effects, your downscreen keys, your picture-in-pictures, lower third, whatever items you need for that show, and you have that on memory physically. It takes that element of thinking away from it and gives you that reflexive speed that you need. So focusing on never taking your eyes off the action. Imagine a hockey puck passing from one player to another, and you have to look down to remember, camera 2, camera 1. Oh, good directors, good mixers have that memorized in their fingers long before they actually get to the event. So I love that they've added this effect. Jake had a great point earlier about having it so that if you have an extra graphics guy, they have an extra keyboard.
All right, yes, so there is a couple of things here that makes it easier. Like Amanda said, you can have this as a separate person, so you can certainly have two people. You can have one doing the graphics, one can be doing the scoreboard, for example, or you're going to use this as the mixer and you can mount your screen up so you can actually see it in front of you instead of hanging down over it as you often do with the Yolobox, because now you're balancing the screen versus where your hands are. So now you can use the keys, memorize where they are, have all of the things set up for this project specifically. Maybe you have many graphics for other shows, but now you can only get the ones that you're going to use. It's very handy. It's very easy to just make this happen. You can do different pages of different sources. I'm going to go show you right now in the menu how that's set up. It's super easy. Just check this out. And here you have all of your sources and all of the other things that you can set in it. So if you want to change so have only sources on the first page, for example, you go up to your sources. Maybe I want to have source 6 instead of overlay 1. I'll just go in there and change it like so, and now they will correspond on the Yolodeck itself. But I'm going to switch back to having my overlay on there for now, so I don't get confused later. There you go. And then you can set all of your other buttons as you want. But I chose to have my sources on top, always overlays on the second, and then I have go live and fade to black and those buttons in the bottom. And now I've set up my Yolodeck. So that was the one thing that we couldn't actually do live because of how the recording is happening. So that you have to forgive us for, live to tape plus a little B-roll. So there you go. Super easy to set up. It's so nice to use. I'm switching over to Amanda and switching graphics.
Yeah, so now you have my audio only on audio follow video to HDMI to my camera, right? So how do you separate it? And again, this is some trick for him. He's the first time he can control all of the times I can and cannot talk.
Control to a point. You can never really control that. But it is set up on the audio page here. You can choose to have all the mics on at all times, or you can have the audio follows video, which is very handy. For example, if you have the clips, you can have them always on. If you have two speakers that talk at the same time, then it's good to have them always on. So even if a different camera is on, you still catch the audio. But for this, we set it up this way, just basically to see if it worked and to explain how it works for you guys, basically. So very handy. But now I have all of my buttons for sources here and overlays. I can see my audio at all times and never have to go away from that screen. And I see all of my inputs on the screen here as well. Very handy. So can't complain about that at all. Very broadcast friendly. Hang on.
So how does it compare to the OC? The little 2-input one?
Well, the only way that it compares is actually what it looks like. So if I switch over to the screen here, they look fairly similar, the size is similar, but this is just a 2 HDMI mixer with picture-in-picture, whilst this is now a media control unit for your Yolobox. So they look the same, but they don't play the same league, because you have to use the Ultra to do this as well.
So at this point, the only thing that we're still waiting on from Yolobox is, like, for professional broadcast is really Tally, isn't it?
Yes, so that's one of those things we don't have at the moment. You can of course buy them separately, but it would be nice if they was included inside of the Yolobox. But we always talk to them. We talk to Frank at Yolobox, and they always come with new updates. So when people ask, they create new things. That's why the Yolodeck now exists, because there was a need and they help fill it. So it's always a good company to have a conversation with.
Yeah, so just a reminder too, Jake, you can keep talking when I'm talking. Like, we can conversate, because your mic is always on, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, because I can always talk and talk back, but you don't talk back to your wife.
It's just me that gets caught back. So some other use cases, we were talking to Linus, and he said that this would be a fantastic use for gaming. So if you guys want to see us do that.
Yeah, I mean, gaming is a bit of a stretch. Maybe we can talk about like Mario Kart or something like that. We're not pro gamers as it is, but as Linus also mentioned, it is nice to be able to not look away if you're doing your streaming. Then again, the feel buttons is much easier to use if you're playing at the same time. So if you're a streamer, we can do a streaming video about that too, so you can see how that setup might go, and I don't know, maybe get some Mario Kart out of it. Or leave a comment down below if you want to see something like that, if that's interesting. Of course, we do most of these videos for what you want to see. If you don't want to see that, then just comment that too.
All right, so to summarize, this is an extension to your Yolobox Ultra. Does it work with the Pro as well?
No, it doesn't work with the Pro, only with the Ultra. It's the only one that it can connect to right now.
I was going to say too, we have a Yolobox sitting with Marcus and Linus in Sweden, so we might try to do a live broadcast. This is a live to tape, but if you guys want to see us do a live talk and kind of discuss some of the changes, like why we're in Canada for a few months and they're in Sweden, or talk about any of the new equipment that we have out. We have the C400 we're testing and working with right now.
Super nice camera.
It's so cool. But if you want to see us talk live about it, just leave a comment below. Maybe we'll try to work out having a live broadcast. Again, thanks to Yolobox, that makes this so much easier. And having the Yolodeck makes it even more easier, because when you're trying to have a conversation like this, and poor Jake is also trying to think through mixing at the same time, having the Yolodeck makes that so much easier than, yeah.
Yeah, if I can focus on the conversation and I can focus on the buttons here as well, then it is much easier to follow along and have eye contact and be part of the conversation. But that would be a fun collaboration to do, all of us together over the seas, over the countries, and yeah, connecting to Yolobox. Very handy. But yeah, if you have any more comments, feel free to write other things too, how much you like the videos and such. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications, so you get all of the notifications that we have new videos coming on. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and well, we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night for now.
Wave to me. Bye. There, and show you extra.